Everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
We are recording the webinar. Okay. Correct. You are in my window. Why? Galería. Vamos. Sorry, but I want to. There. Now I can see myself in the screen. I have two screens. Okay. Good morning and welcome to this fifth webinar about cybersecurity services and implementation of strategies and use cases. My speech is for 5-6 minutes, and I want to present the two speakers we have today. Thanks to our speakers. Organized by Cluster Tourings of Extremadura as partner of the Tourings 4.0 project, developed by 10 partners from 6 countries, led by Federculturismo Confindustria from Italy, hello Valeria, and co-founded by the COSME program of the European Union to provide the capacity building of the European SMEs and leverage emerging digital technologies to improve their productivity, sustainable, and business performance. My name is Jesus Bravo, the Cluster of Tourings manager, and I organize this interesting webinar. I want to take this opportunity to record and summarize and invite to all of you to visit our webpage, where you can find other webinars and pills, infographic, and various tools about all of this matter we are working on. Inform you that they are full of premium information about various topics. The first webinar was organized by our partner from Portugal, NES, hello, Walter, led by Walter Duarte, and with the collaboration of Google from Portugal, who talk about skill shops, Google Trends, Google for Hotel, for travel operators, etc. Antonio Correa, the industry manager travel from Google, talk about the importance of YouTube too in the end of his speech, and the inspiring content we must show in our social media. In our second webinar, led by the people from Jura and the Institute of Tourism from Zagreb, I pick up the first minutes, and I like to remind the compromise of the touristic SMEs with the SDGs, because we can influence in the climate changes visual. The third webinar, organized by our Spanish partner from Cluster Digital of Catalonia, dealt with the mother of travel intelligence and smart pricing management. The fourth, the last week, organized by Bernard Senserovic from the Croatian Hotels Association, who talk about new communication technologies and learns us about individualization and personalization of content. Well, I don't want to speak at length, and I will now give the floor to our interesting speaker from 2 relevant companies in Spain. We have split the today webinar in 2 20-minute speeches, and you can participate in the chat with questions along the presentation, and in the final, we have a time for question and answer. Thanks for the participation of Miguel Ángel and Manuel, and I want to present their companies and their profile. The first speaker is Miguel Ángel Prieto from Nemo Cybersecurity. Nemo is a Spanish company with presence in Spain, Mexico, and Colombia, and with forecast expansion to other geographies in the short, medium term. They currently execute projects in more than 10 countries. The company began its journey in 2001, initially with projects oriented towards a more technological approach, and since 2006, they have focused on developing a clear strategy in cybersecurity. They have more than 500 employees, 500, in its different geographies, distributed in different areas of expertise, such as intelligence and digital surveillance, cloud, awareness, detection and response, development, data, etc. Miguel Ángel is currently the responsible for the transformation and control area of the operation, with more than 15 years of career in the world of cybersecurity and for 8 years in Nemo. He started as the responsible for different cybersecurity services for clients in sectors such as banking, energy, and retail. For 5 years, he has developed his activity as project manager and finally as responsible for transformation and control of the operation in Nemo company. In the other hand, we have Manuel Velarde. Manuel Velarde is a computer engineering and master in information system management. He's a professional with more than 25 years of experience in implementation and strategy in information system from applications, ERP, IoT, the Internet of Things, cybersecurity, cloud, or technological innovation. He has worked and carried out projects in both the public and private sectors, like Confederation of Saving Banks, Red.AS, Cenatic, as well as has managed the commercial direction of informatics of the public sector, working for a big company in Spain, El Corte Inglés, in our Extremadura region. Telefónica is a large company, it's a big company, it's a Spanish multinational telecommunication company, headquartered in Madrid. Telefónica is the 4th largest telecommunication company in Europe and the 13th worldwide. This mission commits them to protecting people and the planet, as well as ensuring that corporate ethics are at the foundation of everything they do. They aspire to digitize the whole society, leaving no one behind, aligning in a natural way with the United Nations 2030 agenda, which highlights the key role of technology, innovation, and communications to address the great challenges of humanity. Currently, Manuel serves as Telefónica digital transformation expert for Extremadura, managing projects for public and private sector clients. I know Miguel Angel in another event that we organized last year, but with Manuel, I had no contact, and when someone gave me his phone, and I contacted with him, he said yes, without more explanation. I went to LinkedIn to read his profile because I didn't know who was this man. And I only have to say, like he says in LinkedIn profile, guitar player, proud father, and husband. Thank you very much. My 5 minutes are finished, and I give the floor to Miguel Angel to explain us the strategy for the implementation of cybersecurity. After, when Miguel finished, Manuel continue with his presentation to explain about use cases. Thank you, Miguel Angel. I give you the floor.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be able to share this talk with you. Thank you very much, Jesus, for the presentation. Many thanks to the cluster of tourists of Extremadura. Also, thanks to all attendees for reserving this little space in your busy schedules to spend. Sorry, and there are
somebody have the mic connected.
Yes.
We are now Donna. Yes, it's
okay.
The mic is off. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Also, thanks to all attendees for reserving this little space in your busy schedules to spend some time reflecting on our cybersecurity. I have to start by apologizing for my English level. I hope you understand everything I want to talk today. And if there are any question in the end, I will ask with the help of Jesus. Okay.
Don't hesitate. We help you. No problem.
Thank you. For a long time, I have participated in cybersecurity projects of different types, and in many cases, the forest has not let me see the trees. Today, we are going to talk about cybersecurity, but from a very pragmatic point of view. Many times in these talks, we talk about the concepts, disruptive ideas that are still very far from the real life or every day. In my intention today is that everyone have a roadmap to cybersecurity challenge and know how to start it. Okay, Nemo, if you let me 5 minutes, I'm going to spend in present some services that we execute in Nemo. As Jesus commented, Nemo has more than 500 of employees in 3 locations, Spain, Mexico, and Colombia. In addition, each of these locations have a SOC, a center of security operation connected each other. This allows us to guarantee the provision of 724 services to our clients in more than 12 countries. Our service, some of these services, okay, our goal is always keep the business of our clients working. Okay, some of these services are reducing the attack surface, reducing their gaps, detect and remedy vulnerabilities of their systems, or ethical hacking, analyzing their application, websites, Wi-Fi, and guarantee they are safe. We have a service about detection and response where we monitor the system of our clients. Pardon, sorry, I don't change the slide.
The slides, okay.
Okay, this is right. Okay. We analyze what is happening in the system and detect the anomalous behaviors and attacks to take measures and avoid them. We have services about intelligence, about the brand protection, BIP protections, BIPs protection, and exposure situation on internet. We have an area specialized in cloud technologies, Azure, Google Cloud, AWS, and identity management too. Okay. We're going to talk about the digital. We're going to talk about the Turing 4.0 and the digital transformation. Many of you will have been to multiple talks about the digital transformation, and the digital transformation is the path, the way to that companies and society now. Some of you will in a more advanced processes of digital transformation, and others have started recently. However, we have over the table the next step. The evolution goes to the 4.0 world. To this 4.0 world, it's a new universe of services for a smart destination. Different players exchange data to cooperate on cloud platform to enrich customer experience and new immersive technologies for the customer. It will be a Turing 4.0 that will relate with the smart cities from the future. These last 2 days, I have been at the digital enterprise SAO, and I have been able to listen to the new technological concept that the industry is handling for this new lead. New concepts for data, like data fabric, generative artificial intelligence, or augmented reality. There were also use cases prototype with everyday application. If you want, if you allow me, I summarize two of them of these cases. In the first case, the prototype was a experience immersive in virtual reality in a museum. In this case, una exhibition of Frida Kahlo paints. You have to wear a virtual reality glasses, and using your hands, you could point where do you want to go in the room, turn the pages of a book, open boxes. Really, I was surprised by the degree of definition of the images of the 3D objects and the precision of the movements of my hands in the air on the imaging that I showed in the glasses. All of this with an explication, audios, and music. The second prototype, although it was already implanted in a big number of cities of Andalusia, they were beacons Bluetooth that offered the person who placed it near of them a max of 50 meters context information about that point. It could be tourist information about the monuments, with information about cities, or in natural landscapes. The autonomy is 3 years, but it was oriented also to show the product of a store, of the museum, of a menu of a restaurant. Only walking near of these bats. This is a few examples of what the 4.0 tourists can bring. All of us want an intense, immersive experience customized to its clients. And we all, of course, we take a granted security in this experience. Today, our lives have a very important digital component at the work, a lot of systems, applications, in mobility experience, the public transport, digital tickets with NFT in all mobiles, the new cars like Tesla that you can integrate with them with your mobile, and I don't know this, but the Tesla cars could be drive automated in Spain. I think that in Spain it's not possible, but the regulation it let the drivers let the cars could be drive in an automated mode in autovías only, not cities, but just in autovías, in roads.
Mm-hmm.
The digital world has its own rules of the game, and as in the real world, all of these things, it's awesome, but also has any risks and any threats. Okay, the digital transformation and the digital 4.0 has new services, more opportunities, more technology, and more collaboration. But in this digital world, there are risks. Maybe the goals of the bad guys are the same. Thief of data and credential, of digital identities, publication of sensible and classification information, fraud, phishing identity. All of these are challenge for cybersecurity of all of that us. And the objective is to protect our system, our business, our clients. But the perimeter of what we have to defend is has disappeared. The new collaborative platforms, our data is distributed in different places or countries. Before you have a website where you sold your products. Now you collaborate in platforms with other business, other a lot of people, and the Turing's 4.0 it's this is collaborate, but we have to take some security measures to grant the experience client, the client experience. When you drive a car, we know that we drive well, we respect the traffic signals, we are careful, but however, we have an insurance. We know that we have an accident in any moment. It will be a small or big, but we have an insurance. At the digital world, we have to take also measures to we can be sure, safe.
Yes.
It's important that we know who are our traveling partners. In cybersecurity, the responsibility is shared by all of us. In some cases, we are a business that offers a service. In other cases, we are a client. In other cases, we are a third party or service provider to this business. For example, Nemo provides services to companies so that their clients are safe, but other services such as suppliers or companies that prepare or employees pays are third parties. And of course, also the regulator laws, regulation published. For example, banking has its own regulation, very hard. We are all partners in the journey because the threat exists, the risk exists, and they are looking for the gap in the chain. Everyone have a responsibility in cybersecurity. The customers must keep the password or their authentication systems. Business must offer granted services, audited services that meet all security standards. The companies of cybersecurity must help to business, which in many cases don't have the knowledge and the resources to be able to give these guarantees. And the administration or regulatory entities who ensures that everything's happening. Okay. In Nemo, we work with our clients in a journey, a cybersecurity journey. There is a zero phase where the key question is, which is my business? Because many of the decisions you have from now on will be it will be conditioned by this answer. The first steps, it's an assessment of my cybersecurity posture. What is my security situation? There are services which are my assets in the digital world. If we have a public website where there is electronic e-commerce or customer areas, if we have infrastructure on servers, some on premise, some on cloud, Wi-Fi network in our business, and IoT device, which today are and governance, which are all processes of the information from data for the supplier processes, and like I said before, the compliance and regulations. The next step is analyze the risks and threats that affect my business. The measures to adopt will not be the same if we are a provider of a cloud services, a hotel, or an active tourist company. And this will allow us to define a plan of necessary actions. Next step is obviously reduce the exposure and secure our systems. Okay, it's apply these actions or measures to go our systems harder protections, and at the same stay more safe. And the last step is continuous control and compliance with regulations. Okay, it's important retest our systems continuously because the systems, the gaps are detected every day, and a lot of softwares, system operation, application, protocols of communications, etc. For example, at Nemo, we propose the project of cybersecurity to our clients, where like this journey, and we accompany to improve the maturity level of their systems. This is a typical roadmap for our clients, where we have 4 steps of maturity, and in this cycle, in this continuous cycle, we have to improve their maturity level. Okay. Finally, I want to summary the key topics of this talk. There are 4 points. The 4.0 world, it's an opportunity where immersive services and collaborative platform will be the topics, but they also is a security challenge. The risk is real. The threat exists. Nobody will be exempt, and the time will come. Cybersecurity is a responsibility of all fellow travelers or partners at the journey: client, business, providers, and regulators. And finally, the threats will come, reality, and the more the important is be prepared for this moment and shorter the recovery time, the resilience. Okay, thank you for your time. This is my information data for
Okay.
if you want
to contact. Okay.
To contact. Thank you. We can talk about.
Thank you, Miguel Angel.
Thank you, Jesus.
Interesting, and always I finish my conversation with you with a little of afraid. I'm more afraid every time because I am so afraid to click emails because you don't know if they are full of virus or not. Okay, if somebody have a question, we can share in the chat, and finally we can ask to Miguel Angel. Okay, Manuel, I give you the floor now and share your presentation, please.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think Javier, I have 20 minutes. Is what I have now?
Sorry?
I have 20 minutes, okay?
Yes, 20 minutes.
Okay, let's go on. When you see the presentation, please just let me know.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right. Watching
yes.
it?
Everything.
Okay, fantastic. So thank you, Miguel Angel. You give me the last word of your presentation is called resilience. And yes. That's why I'm going to start my presentation. So again, thank you very much. Okay. Well, I am, as you said, I'm Manuel Belardo. I work actually in Telefónica. Telefónica, I will tell in the end, it's a large company. It's a worldwide company, so we really take care of our customers and take care of our networks, of the networks, and of course, all their security. So we deal every day with security issues with not only large companies, but also with the very small companies like maybe you can represent here in your territory. So let's talk about cybersecurity and how to be prepared and to be resilient to that very, very real threat. Okay. Well, first of all, yeah, I think maybe you are already known. That's the ransomware. Ransomware is the new, or not really new, but it's the most important attack we are going to have and suffer today. You have plenty of news around the globe, around the world. This just an example. Just in last year, Costa Rica, New Mexico, Russia, large companies like Acer. Well, this really a lot of companies suffering today. No matter the size of the companies, suffering this kind of attacks. It's quite important to acknowledge one point. You as a tourism companies, you have mainly to as I say, I picture it, you have two very common characteristics. You deal with data, with customers' data, with your providers' data, and also with government data. So your traffic, if I may say so, with data. And the second characteristic, you really mainly rely on the cloud because you don't have an IT guy or a big budget for IT infrastructure. So you manage data in a mainly cloud environments. So that's the main threat, and the bad guys are going to target and focus. Okay, ransomware statistics are really growing. Maybe you can see here in the. Let me check if I can. Yes, that's some point. We have these cases, documented cases. Okay, documented because there are much more, but documented in 2012. 21 and 2022, so it's almost doubling. Okay, retail, manufacturing, construction, and government are the main targeted companies today in ransomware, but nobody is free of it. And this is very important for me. Is the mail is consolidated as the main input vector. So again, all the bad guys are focusing on the user. They're not focusing really on your systems or in your IT infrastructure. They are focusing in your users, external users and internal users. Okay. So as for final thought about that, bad guys are not only targeting large companies, as I said before, they are also targeting small companies searching for corporate accounts. So there's a lot of people using the corporate accounts, let's say telefonica.com, using that email accounts to log into your systems. So using the credentials in the own company to make services and trade with you in your system with a corporate email. So there's also a vector. So as I said, no one is free of the threat of data ransomware attacks. Okay. Yeah, the complexity of the threats. In the past, I'm 49 years old. You will remember if you have my age. I think you are so much younger than me, but you have to remember the viruses. No, you have an antivirus and everything is okay because you have your computer and your disks or whatever. Now, today is just history. Today is quite different, and it's quite also very layered in different ways. First of all, cyber criminals only need one success attack. Here we have these organizations mainly. There are two big really organizations. They come from Russia for dealing with money laundering and money, and they come from China regarding IP uses. So the criminal organization broke into your system and then sell your credentials to another one. So again, with one crack on your system, they put all your credentials, all your information in the dark web, and just ask for money for another one that's Russian or whatever, in order to exploit or to ransom your company. Okay, so it's a very layered attacks today, and it's quite difficult to track them. Okay, they are really criminals. They are not young people. They are not funny people, silly guys. No, they are criminals that want your money and the money of your clients the money of your governments, and the money of your universities. So that's quite important to say. Okay. Of course, people, as I said before, is the weakest link. Okay, that all the targets are mainly focused and get your credentials and attack your users. Okay, why? Because as Miguel Angel said before, the perimeter of your companies today is no longer your building or your local IT network. No, the perimeters are really wide. So you have hyperconnectivity, you have remote workers, you are using the cloud a lot, you have maybe industrial environments like sensors or beacons or whatever the device you may use. They has an IP address, is connected to a net, or even connected to our internet, and so is maybe is also a part of your company. So the perimeter of attack is really wide today. As I said before, the threats are really evolving, mainly fueled by artificial intelligence, like as I said before, when we see that, like the fake audio from CIO, Google spam filter, whatever. So really, it's very powerful attacks today. And what happens to the people? Yeah, why people is the weakest link? And because senior executives are targeted. The attacks are using social engineering techniques, and basic security rules are really unknown for your employees and also for your clients. Nobody knows really how to deal with cybersecurity in the internet world. That is the main problem. And of course, in the provider side of the pyramid, lack of security professional. Okay, that's really a huge problem, and the cyber criminals know that. So how can we get resilient in our companies with these macro trends I just mentioned before? Well, first of all, please embrace managed services. So hire people, hire services in order to manage your cybersecurity, okay? Don't do it by yourself. Don't hire an IT guy that makes everything. The guy that makes the WordPress, that guys that program the whatever thing you have to do, he's really is not today expert in cybersecurity. So please rely in your local partner ecosystem with cybersecurity. Of course, you don't have to have all the control, but you will have the most expertise with these companies. Really, they know exactly where the attacks came from. They know exactly how to protect you, okay? So first of all, don't do it yourself. Hire good people or good services to do that, like Nemo or Telefonica. And just to be quick, to really takes away for you. First of all, ask your security partner to implement awareness in your employees. As I said before, employees and humans are the weakest link of the chain. So please train them. There is really a lot of resources to do that. There's a lot of methodologies to do that. There's plenty of partners around the globe to do that. But do it really. A guy, an employee, or also a client that is more or less aware of this, what that is cybersecurity, and how to deal with phishing or how to deal with whatever. So it's the first barrier you have to implement, people. Okay, and it's not really expensive. Also, it's quite cheap. So you have to invest some time to train, to do some techniques like attack simulations or whatever. And of course, communicate your data policy to your clients and how to recover the password. Be very, very transparent to do that, and publish them to your website. Okay. The second takeaway, ask your cybersecurity partner to do that simple math equation. Calculate the risk you're probably suffering today. The risk is equal to probability plus impact, okay? So please, again, ask your cybersecurity partner to assess the risk and to assess the security code. Most of you are always asking for a kind of website, of web services or whatever, in order to collaborate with your partners, please tell your partners that assess the security code, okay? And pass some tests of vulnerability on those applications you are hiring. It's quite important to do that, because there is a lot of malicious code. There is a lot of code around the internet that is reused again and again and again sometimes with no really sense of cybersecurity. So please run security tests on your own applications, okay? The second is implement also with your partner what we call digital zero trust. Trust no one, okay? No one is allowed to enter in your systems. So in order to implement access to your system, think about is that the real person he's had to access that digital assets? So there's a lot of technology around to implement that. Like, for example, very simple. If someone wants access to one of your systems, ask for a second authentication factor, like an SMS or WhatsApp or whatever. Implement far beyond the user and the password, okay? And rely on digital zero trust techniques, methodologies, and software to do that, okay? And the last takeaway, we said in Telefonica, XDR. What that means is, I'm going to take the last dot again. The most important letters here are DR, is detection and respond, okay? First of all, in the past, we have the antivirus, okay? When there was an email or whatever, so our antivirus said, okay, this is a very known virus, so stop it or whatever. Today, I said before, that's just history. So we have to monitoring everything, not just the physical world, like your laptop, your telephone, or your network, or your cloud, your applications. You have to manage all these digital assets because they are entrance vectors for cybersecurity, for cyber threats. Okay, and again, ask your partner to monitor that digital assets, physical or virtual. In order to do what? In order to do correlation, analysis, also recovering forensics, and try to recover as soon as possible in case of a breach on your systems. This is a thumb in what we call the digital zero trust. In this side of the window, you see your business partners, your clients, citizens, devices, workloads that may be on the cloud of third parties that want to access your systems in this way, So what I mean when digital zero trust is implement a kind of black box that is really that black box who is going to access your system. Don't let the client or your employee directly access your system. No, put something in the middle and manage it with your digital cybersecurity partner in order to implement the digital zero trust. It's quite, I really don't have time to explain every single box here, but just, to just take away digital zero trust. And well, so the ransomware lessons we learned on the past 5 years. So as I said before, it's crucial to detect and respond the endpoint, the laptops, the phones, whatever. And also implement best practices in identity management, like I said before, with digital zero trust. Make backups, check regularity in order to recover the information. I think most of you really don't have really a nice backup policy of your systems. Please do it. And patch your system. Use legal software. It's going to be patched. All the bad guys focus very much on all systems or system out of maintenances. So please patch your systems. And there's a lot of more lessons learned from ransomware and cyber threat today. And why why Telefonica is doing that business? Okay, well, because we think that, as I say here, digital acceleration is a process really that creates multiple opportunities, but also increase challenges for all of us, especially in business security ecosystems. Of course, we live in a world where cyber threats are inevitable. So sooner or later you are going to be attacked, right? So our main role is to help companies in their road to achieve a cyber resilient business. There is no 100% security of all, but it's really a road to achieve to be resilient in case of being attacked. How can it be everything recovered as soon as possible? Okay, that's the point. There's some numbers. Well, we are in 175 countries around the globe. We have manage and detection, and the best thing, to me, the most important, response and recovery. Okay. And just a couple of examples. We are in charge in Spain of the national government cybersecurity operations centers. So we cover all the public administration here in Spain, doing all these things I pointed out here in the slide. We also helping the naval industry with cyber war, or also for our very small clients in Telefonica. We have this small piece here is the router we have in every house that the people and companies that hire Telefonica. Movistar is the name of our trademark for internet services. So in our routers, we implemented policies in order to block to block all the of malware and malicious content. So that is on our network. Or this example in Valencia, trying to secure all these totems to charge the boats in this case. No? So there's plenty of examples. And also we are recognized very much from around the globe for a lot of analysts. So I think I'm done. 1 minute, yes, exactly 20 minutes.
Thanks.
So I can take questions wherever you want, by chat or by email. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Manuel. So interesting and more horrified than before. But don't hesitate that in the next 5 minutes, we receive a WhatsApp and we say accept, and we click accept. And when we get down an application, we always say, did you read the contract? Yes, accept. It's the day of the enterprise and individual persons. Yes. Okay. If you don't have any question for these two amazing and awesome speakers, we can finish our webinar. Not forgetting to thank very much for your effort being here. And we can't forget to announce the next 6th webinar foreseen for the 23rd of June, and from our partner from Malta Business Bureau. The title of this next webinar is Driving Revenues, a case study approach from using digital tools to developing people. A big thanks to the people from Portugal, Croatia, Italy, Poland, Malta, and of course, Spain. Have a nice day. I wait 1 minute if somebody want to make a question. If no, we can close the webinar. Thank you very much for your attention.